Welcome, lovebirds, to Love in the Details, a place to celebrate marriage through the beautiful stories of real couples, because love truly lives in the little things. Welcome, lovebirds, to another episode of Love in the Details. And as you know, I love love and everything about it. And I love the fact that you took some time out of your day to join us on another journey and learning of these two lovebirds that we have here. To my main man, which for some of you, if you've been following my journey a little bit, you may have seen this brother right here interviewing me on LinkedIn. And there's some pictures on my Instagram because this is Mr. Odell Bizzell and his lovely wife Sierra. And they're gonna show us and tell us and detail to us how they all started, right? So number one, thank you guys for blessing me with your presence.
Appreciate you for the invitation.
Love that. So we'll get right into it of just letting us know how you guys started.
College, I think, we met her first year at North Carolina State University, Raleigh, North Carolina, and my second year.
Okay.
So we met. She was in a relationship situation, and I was, just out there. And my best friend, he kind of challenged me to go talk to her. I don't know what you used to do back in the day, but I was watching back in the day. We used to play a game called Point and Holler, where you go holler at that girl right there.
Definitely played that, yeah.
So she was the one that was pointed to, and yeah. So my best friend was like, "I bet you want to go talk to that girl." I was having a bad week with the ladies that week.
Okay.
So I didn't want to go talk to her. I was like, I'm good. And then my friend challenged me, so I went and talked to her. We sat and talked for like
3 hours.
A ridiculous amount of time. Like they were closing up the dining hall. And and so then we just kind of became friends, and then went from there.
Does that sound accurate to your recollection?
Yes. He told y'all the correct story.
She was waiting for you too.
Yeah, he usually adds things.
So I guess from your vantage point, when he approached you, being that you were in a relationship at that time, like what was kind of going through your thought process on the way that he did that?
He was very respectful. So I thought, oh, he's cute. And then he said, hey, do you mind if I sit down? So I was like, sure, cool. And he was just trying to have a conversation with me versus other guys that have been on campus that were just
thirsty,
saying inappropriate things or, yelling or whatever it was. But he was very, very respectful. So that's kind of what got me, I guess, and allowed me to just let down my guard enough for him to sit down and talk to me.
Gotcha. And about, I guess, how long did it take for the initial just attention turned into, all right, I want to get to know this guy?
So the boyfriend that I had before, I had been with in high school for 4 years, but we were not in a good place. So we broke up around my birthday, which is October 26th, and he had just kind of been around him and his best friend, and we were cool, and we went over to his room, my friend and I, for Halloween, and we were watching these terrible old movies.
God.
And he and I were just kind of talking, laughing, playing, and when I left the room with my friend, she was like, he likes you, and I'm like, no. She's like, yes, y'all like each other, and I'm like, no, we don't. And then I kind of sat there and thought about it, and I was like, maybe I do like this guy. So I sent him an email because I was like, well, if he doesn't like me, then I just won't say anything else to him.
Right.
And I was like, I think I like you. I don't know if you like me too. And the rest was kind of history.
Because Odell, what was your reaction to the email, and do you remember the email?
Yeah, I remember. I wanted to be a player at that time. Like I was like I was a bachelor for the first time ever. Like I had we have similar background. She had one boyfriend in high school. I had one girlfriend, and so I had broken up with my girlfriend the summer before or something like that, and I really wasn't looking for anything, and I liked her, but it wasn't like that because I also knew that she was getting out of a long-term relationship, and I'm like, they still gonna be messing around and all that. I was like, I'm just, I was like, we'll be all right. Like, we're cool. Like, you know, it was kind of that response where I was trying to play it cool, but I really did like her. Like, that wasn't the issue. It was just the issue of where it would go from there.
Right.
So, but I think after that, it was the constant, nah. Like, you know, like, nah. And then my boy was like, yeah, y'all gonna get together. I'm like, nah. Like, you know, like, nah, I don't know about that. But we just continued to stay connected. Like, we just talked. We had lunch, like, every day. And so, back then, you know, you remember this. Some of y'all watching may or may not, depending on how old you are. I remember AIM.
Yes. You had a sidekick?
No, I just
on the computer? Okay.
On my computer. But so, you know, we would be talking through AIM and all that stuff. So we just stayed connected and then became friends, and then it grew after that.
Gotcha. So I think, and you said you became friends, and I think nowadays a lot of folks are missing that opportunity to really hone in and cultivate the friendship. Right? Sierra, how important was that for you, especially with the transition that was happening relationship-wise?
It was very important to me because I had never actually had a boyfriend that I could talk to. We would get on the phone, you know, you're like, what are you doing? Nothing. What you doing? Nothing. And then breathe for like 3 hours. But with him, it was different because, like I said, that first day, we talked for 3 hours and we talked about everything. And then he called me on the phone like 2 weeks later and we talked again for like 3 hours and we talked about everything. So every day when we were going to lunch, we were just talking. We were talking about, you know, this is what I see myself doing in the future, and this is what I want to become, and this is where I want to go, and this is how many kids I want to have, or let me tell you this story about, you know, back in the day. I like this. You like that too? So it was just really cool to have somebody that you can just kick it with. You know, not really expecting anything because we weren't together. We were just talking, having a conversation. And I think that's been important to our relationship because we still do that now. We take walks in our neighborhood and we just talk. We talk about everything.
And I think that in itself is really, really dope because at least from, you know, what I've seen and what I've experienced, when you have that type of bond, that type of connection, and then you take it to the next level, there's a very solid foundation, right? That when life happens, you're in such a great spot that it doesn't even matter, right? So Odell, what was the thought process for you of, all right, you know what, let me let's turn it up a notch and, you know, start going out on dates and everything like that? What was like your approach to taking it a little further than just a friendship?
Well, it was early. It was the 19-year-old back and forth, like I like you, but, you know, I like you, but, and I always wanted to get married young. So it was kind of like fighting that too. Okay. Because I was 19 when I met her, and so, you know, 19 turns into 25 pretty fast.
Yes.
And so I was just thinking about like what type of woman I wanted to be with, and in my family, marriage is at a high value. So it's like, if you're not married in my family, it's like, what's going on? What you doing? Like, what's going on? So, and when I started thinking like that, it was more along the lines of, okay, well, she's what I want. Because my aunt, Her and my uncle are still married. They've been married almost 50 years.
Oh, wow.
And she said, you know, make a list of what you want out of a wife and what you don't want. And I remember making my list on my Dell laptop, and Sierra had everything and more. So then I was like, dang. It's like, is she the one? Like, is she the one already? Like, so soon?
Yeah.
And so that's where it kind of went up. And it's like, we started off friends, and then it's like, I don't know. Then like a few months after that, it was, you about to be my husband. Like that was the, she said, I'll say this, she's always been I think I said this in Dallas, like the spooky one. Like she's always been that person. Like, I'm deep, but I'm not like spooky deep.
Yep.
But she's always been kind of like spooky deep. And so when we met, she said, God told me that the next man, or something like that. And so then like 6-7 months after that, I had her on video. We went on a trip, and she said, yeah, we're going to get married. And I'm like, what? But here we are.
She was a visionary.
Yeah, for sure.
But also, what happened before that? You were out here trying to marry me.
No, that was after.
Summer?
That was after. That was the summer of, I mean, you know, like, after you said that, I was like, yeah. You
After
know.
your list, huh?
Yeah, after him.
Did you have a similar list, or at least thought process of what attributes your husband needed to have?
I think so. So my mom and my grandma have always been very important to me, and they had a lot of conversations with me as far as what type of husband you should look for. My grandma lost her husband early on, so in like her 40s, but she would always say, you know, your granddad, he was like this, and he did this, and he did that, and my mom would say, you want this, and you don't want that. So I kind of took all of those things to heart, and when I was in college and, you know, I met him, I was kind of watching what he was doing. I'm like, okay, he has sisters. How does he treat these sisters that he has? How is he treating his mom? How is he with his grandma? He's a grandma's boy. And I thought that was the cutest thing because, like I said, I love my grandma.
Right.
So for me, you know, those things were just really important. He had a lot of characteristics in him already at 19 that, you know, 30-year-olds don't have. He was already trying to pay bills, and he was already taking care of his sisters and taking his sisters to school, picking them up, and, you know, I was like, wow, he's gonna be a great father one day. So, you know, he was a good guy. He is a good guy.
So when Odell, this is for you. So when you passed all the tests, and she also was checking off everything off of your checklist of, you know, what was important to you. What was it like, I guess, thought process wise and feeling wise, when you came to the decision, like, I'm gonna propose?
Yeah, I think for better or for worse, I've always kind of been the type of guy that once my mind is set on something, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
So it came a point where in our relationship, I was like, okay, she's gonna be the one. I want to make sure that the things that I want to give my wife, I'm in a position to do that or close to it. So I proposed in August of 2006, which was was my senior year, like going into my senior year, because I figured I can get some work. I can, you know, I can figure some stuff out in a year. And proposed. Then I asked her mother, not her dad. Her dad is chill. Like, he cool. He's too cool with it. Like, he's like, whatever. Her mama is.
Yes.
And so I asked her, and yeah, just it wasn't really a thought. Like it wasn't. I was afraid or anything. It was just kind of like it felt like the next step, and how we pictured our life. You know, starting early and having kids early, and you know all of that stuff. So it was one of the easiest decisions that I've ever made, and by a landslide, the best.
So, Sierra, how was I guess that part of the process? Well, number one, did your mom make you aware or anything of that conversation? All right, cool.
No.
So, what was it like for you to, get to that point and then boom, he pops the question?
It wasn't quite boom. So I'm the type of person where I'm super anxious and I like to plan my life as best I can.
Okay.
So when we got to that point and he's going into his senior year, I'm like, hey, what are we doing? Where is this going? I'm in my junior year, like, are we gonna be getting married at some point or no? And he was like, gosh, you ruined it. I was planning to propose to you at some point. You just can't wait for anything. So, I asked questions. I've always been that type of person.
Okay.
Then I started messing with her. Because when she did that, I would be like, oh, let me stop and tie my shoe. And like, I would pause and like look up, or we'd be going out to eat, and I like do little things to make her think I was about to do it. Because I'm like,
sounds
man,
like torture.
Because she couldn't just let me surprise her.
Right.
Like she was like, I'm gonna propose eventually.
She's like, but you didn't have any idea when? Like,
Gotcha.
Around like not the exact day, but just the season.
So it was it was funny. But I actually wrote a rap song. I went, me and my best friend went to the studio for the first time.
Okay.
And I said, I want to rap for you. Like I'm nervous. And so I rapped the song, and then the song ends like, tell me yes. So we can start our regime. And I was like, tell me yes. And she was like, oh, that's nice. And I was like, tell me yes. And she said, what? So it was cool. It was cool. But it wasn't like in a restaurant or anything
right.
fancy like that.
Lovebirds, here on Love in the Details, we celebrate growth in love, life, and in business. That's why I'm thrilled to partner with the Business League, the sponsors of this podcast. They help entrepreneurs turn ideas into thriving businesses with practical tools, expert guidance, and a supportive community. Whether you're starting out or ready to scale, the Business League makes the journey smoother and more intentional. Check them out through the description box below and take your next big step with confidence. Now back to the details.
And I think sometimes that also gets lost in translation. You got to do what is organically working for both of you, right? Because I think, especially in this day and age, it's definitely different from that time. But now it's like, what type of grand everything are we gonna do, right? So that way you can put it on the gram and Facebook and get all the likes and the comments and all of that stuff. And sometimes I think that authentic, organic, just go with the flow, just doesn't happen as often as it should, right? So Sierra, in that moment, because you wasn't realizing what was happening, what was your thoughts and emotions, at that point in time?
I don't know. I was not expecting anything. I had gone to his house because his cousin was supposed to be braiding my hair, and then somehow she ended up not being able to do it. So I go to this African braiding salon and come back, and he's like, yeah, I've been working on this song and I want you to listen to it. And I'm like, oh, okay, sure, no problem. So he's rapping, and I'm like, in my mind, what is happening? Is he proposing to me? Is he not? Because you've been playing games.
Right. Kept you
and
on your
then-
toes.
Right. So then he's like, tell me yes, and I'm like, okay. Are you proposing? He's like, yes. I'm like, yes, okay. So, I was confused at first, but then excited.
Nice. And we'll forward past the the whole wedding and everything, because we obviously know that happened.
Yeah.
And you're still smiling, so it was a good time.
Yes.
I guess now for me, when you now get the wedding out of the way, you are now like in it, right? How would you say becoming parents for the first time changed your relationship, if it did?
And now it's about to get good. I'll let you go.
Boy. So when we became parents, I would say, first of all, he wanted to have kids. He's like, yes, let's have a baby. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
I have a 5-year plan.
5-year plan.
And we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna do that.
And then we can have kids.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
So he's like, we need to have kids. And I'm like, sure, yeah, let's have kids. And then I was like, no, I don't want to have kids. And then we find out that we're pregnant. So this was 9 months after we got married that we found out we were pregnant. So 18 months into our marriage, we're becoming parents at 24.
Mm-hmm.
And the pregnancy was great. The delivery, not so much. I ended up having like this emergency C-section situation going on. He was working. He goes back to work 2 weeks after I give birth. It's me and this baby at home. And when you have a baby, for a woman, your hormones and everything kick in, everything changes. You're like, I have to protect this baby at all costs.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm super anxious, hyper vigilant about everything. And he's just like, yeah, you're tripping. So we're having this whole kind of back and forth where I'm like, you need to be doing more with the baby. And he's like, I gotta go to work. I don't have time for this foolishness. So, that kind of started. And then, like I said, with my hormones, I'm a mess. I'm a wreck. I'm still healing. So we started to we really don't argue like that, but we started to have more disagreements just because we had a baby.
Right.
And things were different. And then kind of navigating through that whole process of not sleeping, because this baby, it took Michaela until she was like, 13? No, like literally, she didn't sleep. She was just up all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
I understand that pain.
Yeah.
And I guess, Odell, when those type of conversations were happening, like, what was kind of going through your mind of kind of juggling, appreciating the fact that you're now a father, you're a husband, but you're juggling, taking care of the household, taking care of your child, but also being there for your wife. Like, what was those emotions like for you?
Yeah, I think I'm still figuring it out.
Fair.
It's one of those things where you grow up with a certain context of who your parents are and what they do.
Right.
And so you grow up, they're always your parents. And you see them handling life and you're like, oh, well, they can do that. That can't be that hard,
Right.
Like, yeah, they do. And my parents split up when I was young, but they co-parented. They did, all that. Both of them got remarried, and so I was like, oh, well, yeah, this is gonna be easy. Like, it's gonna be fine. And my dad's always been super involved, and he said, oh, you're about to be a dad. Like, it's gonna be the most important job ever. Blah 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 blah. So, baby touches down. I'm like, cool. I got the night shift. No problem. Like, I'm thinking, no problem. But then what you miss is what a child actually does to a marriage. And it's like, it's us. Then it's us.
Right.
And because it's them too, you have to move your attention away from us to that. And so that part, I don't think that I really thought about.
Right.
I think it was more like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this. Like when she was like, we're gonna wait, we're gonna do it. I was like, nah, we don't need to wait. Like, have all the babies. Like, let's go, let's do it. And then it's like, oh, the baby needs this, and just the little stuff like getting the baby bag, putting the car seat in, like I lost so many calories putting the car seat in the summertime, man. Like, it's like, yo, what's going on? Why is it so challenging? Like, just that little stuff, baby pooping up the back, like in the middle of the drive, like, all those things kind of culminate. Then you broke.
Let's talk about it.
Then you broke, and then you're like, well, dang, this is not what I thought was gonna be. Like, there was a season where we only went on vacation if it was sponsored by the family, by her parents specifically. And so it's like you really become a community, if you will. So that's one kid. Then you add 2 other kids to it, and you become different. That's why I was like, it's about to get good. Like, if you're somebody listening or watching and you're like, you want to have kids, I don't think you know what you're saying. I think you know what you mean.
Right.
Like, I want to bring in these children. Then, this is the last thing I'll say. Then the kids will be their own humans.
Yes. Yep.
So they won't be what you expect them to be, want them to be all the time. So, like she said, and she wasn't joking, our oldest never slept. Ever. And I'm a night owl.
Same.
She never slept. I have pictures of her at 4 years old at 4 a.m. Finally passed out, and I'm like, what is going on? The second baby, she slept fine, like she was fine. The last one, he slept at night fine, but the first one, no, never slept, and then had energy to be up at 6, 7 in the morning, like, hey everybody, how's everything going? Give me attention. I'm a little baby. You brought it to this world. Like, it was crazy. So, yeah, it was and is.
right.
A very interesting experience.
Now, what about, some of those trials and challenges that you guys felt brought you closer?
How long do we have? Brought us closer now.
I think parenting in general, because our journey was a little bit different. We have our oldest child is our biological child. And then we went through a season of infertility. We had to go through some other routes. So on top of that, being broke, it was just a lot. There was a lot going on in our 20s. So we kind of had no choice. We either were going to lean on each other or we were going to be torn apart. And I think for us, it was more, we have to lean on each other, otherwise we're gonna go crazy. There was just a lot going on, and then on top of that, your child not sleeping and being crazy. So I think for us, it was just everything happening at the same time forced us to have to come together, because he was working plus trying to build his business. We were both in school during all of this. I was working on my master's, he's working on his master's. I'm running a home daycare, plus we have this kid, plus we're dealing with infertility, plus life was lifing like it had never lifed before. And either we found time to come together and be like, this is about to take me out, help, or we were just gonna fall apart. So we really had no choice,
Yeah. What's your take?
Yeah, I agree. It was just, they say for better or for worse. we went through a lot of worse first, you know,
Right.
It's like, and you don't know what to expect when you don't get married and say, okay, we're gonna get married, we're gonna have kids, but the first kid is gonna be insufferable, and then we're gonna want some more, but you know it's not gonna be in the cards to do it biologically, so we gotta adopt. And then their stories are going to be crazy, and they're going to add more, and then all the other things. So I think just that season, and both of us are more insulated personalities, so we don't have the lifestyles where it's like, oh, you know, it's Friday, we going out, you know, I'm going out with the boys, I'm going out with the girls. It's like our friends. We're like the cool cousins at the cookout, the family reunion. It's like, cuz, I ain't seen you in so long.
Right.
Like, we're those friends. It's like, wow, Odell and Sierra.
Oh, right.
This is a treat. Because we've never gone out. And honestly, I think it's probably because of because we got married before all of our friends, basically. And so we're living life 10 years in the future.
Yeah.
While they're still partying and still doing, you know, all this stuff, and so we were those friends, and then as we got older, we just kind of stayed like that. So I think that just brought us together. Like, we can be cool doing nothing,
right,
and not have to worry about, you know, or is this exciting enough or anything. So I think that, just like Sierra said, that experience just brought us closer together, period.
So with the dynamic of, you know, just within your circles being the only married couple in that age bracket, what became your fun things to do with one another?
So we have been fortunate enough to have, like, my parents would come and get the kids monthly back then, or my mom's a teacher, so whenever she has breaks, the kids go to her. So we kind of built everything in during those times, and I wasn't working during that time. I was at home with the kids, so it was easier because we were homeschooling, they were home, so whenever she was at home, they just left. So we got like 3 or 4 days, sometimes in the summer, a week. So we're like, okay, we're gonna take this time, and if we had no money at the time, we're having a staycation. But as things progressed, we were able to start taking more vacations, or we would go to the movies, or we would sit at home and watch movies. So we kind of tried to build our time together around those moments, I would say.
Yeah, shout out to the Robinsons. So my in-laws, they're the best. And my stepmom, before she passed away, like they would be very intentional of helping, and Sierra's parents still are. Like, I need my babies and all that stuff like that. So having a support system, that's something else that I didn't really think about, because when we first got married, we were in my hometown. So like the assumption is, oh, you've been asking for these babies, so come get them. And it wasn't always like that with my side of the family, but with Sierra's side, it's always been, whenever you need us, we got you. So that's important. I don't know. I'd be balder if we didn't have I'm telling you, like, because just you need a little bit, just a little bit of air. So for sure, that support system. But my philosophy is, it's not about where you go. It's not even about what you do. It's about who you're with.
Yes.
So I've always just enjoyed spending time. Like, we're gonna watch this show. Is it gonna be good? I don't know. I'm gonna give it 5 minutes. 10 minutes. We're gonna look. Let's turn it off.
Right.
We're gonna go to this new restaurant. Nah, because remember last time.
Right.
Nah, we're gonna go to the same one. So it's about who you're with. It's about how you celebrate life with who you're with. So we have fun. Then once we got a little bit of pocket money, you start going to, you know, fancier trips and nicer places. that's more fun. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's more fun.
Absolutely.
And this one here, once you got a taste of the life,
it was no going back.
Yeah, we traveled first class, I think, to Jamaica one time, and she's like, and she's watching everybody walk by. She's like, look at them. She's like, I remember those days. But it's just being able to enjoy that. And so just time, like what we do for fun in summation is just spend time with one another.
And I think, and actually you heard me mention this the first Dallas trip. One of the vows that I think we all look past, at least for my realm of things, is in sickness and health. But you guys have mentioned the other part of the wedding vows for rich or for poor, right? And just from both of you just recollecting and going down memory lane during those times, looking back on that, what would you tell your past selves as far as when things were like really just not where you wanted it to be, just from that financial standpoint? What would you go back and tell your earlier couple selves as far as advice?
Code red. That's what we Code red.
Man. I think we've talked about this before. So for us, when we first got married, we were in a space of non-denominational Christianity that was like, faith, blind faith, right?
Yes.
So we were going to church, we're giving tithes that we didn't even have.
So much money.
Believing that things are going to get better, buying into the prosperity gospel. And I think that was a part of the problem. But also just really buying into the whole, I don't want to say his name. There's a pastor who is kind of like, you need to be at home with your kids and you need to be raising your kids. So we had this traditional marriage. You're going to stay home with these kids. We're going to raise them. You're going to homeschool them. And that probably wasn't the best idea at that time.
It was not the best idea.
It was not the best idea at that time. So if I were to tell myself something, I would say these things are important because, being with your kids the first 5 years of their life is very important. But you can still do that. You can still be present and still go to work.
Yeah.
Especially if you need to be working.
Right.
We had one income and we could have been light years ahead if we weren't so focused on trying to live this traditional life or live in this picture that was painted for us by certain people who, I'm sure you have the ability to do that when you're a pastor of a mega church. You can say that to your members, but if you don't have it like that, then you need to go to work. So I think for me, that would be the biggest thing. We needed to make better choices and focus on doing the things that were going to help us to get to where we wanted to be.
Yeah, I mean, that in and of itself is a lot. If I could talk to my younger self or anybody that's younger and married or whatever stage you're in, is let go of your ego. I think a lot of the reason why Sierra said the things that she said about that is because my ego wasn't, I'm the man, do everything that I say. That's never been my ego. My ego's always been, I'm the man, I'm gonna take care of everything, don't worry about anything.
Right.
And I don't need help.
Right.
And so that, especially when you're 22, you need help.
Yes, you do.
You need help.
Lots of it.
And it's okay. Like that part. So letting go of that, because I never asked my parents for money. I never asked her parents for money and that, helping us with bills or anything like that. I was always like, I got it. I'm gonna figure it out. I got it. I'm gonna figure it out. And that is not good.
Right.
Like Sierra said, if you ain't got it.
Correct.
You know, that's the saying is it ain't tricking if you got it. Well, it is tricking if you ain't got it. So that was the biggest thing. So ask for help, and I think the first person I should have asked for help was her. I was always like, nah, you ain't gotta do nothing. You ain't gotta worry about it.
Right.
I think that comes from my mommy issues. Another story for another day. But so, and because she's a good woman, she was like, okay, you got it. And sometimes, ladies, you believe in your man too much. Sometimes, because we all need help,
yes.
And in some way. And so just be willing to do that. But I think that's the biggest thing that I would say. Like, just let go of your ego, however it presents itself. Because it might not present itself like I'm the man, I can take care of everything. It might present itself in the way that, you know, you're doing this. Like, you're the woman, so you're cooking and cleaning even though you have a full-time job and kids too.
Right.
And I'm going to just come home and just sit because I'm the man. Like, maybe it presents like that, or maybe it presents like, oh, I'm the man, or I'm the woman, or whatever, and this is what I'm not going to do, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's the biggest thing I would say.
Lovebirds, real talk, fatherhood matters. That's why I've partnered with Dad Gang, a movement celebrating dads who show up with love and pride. Hit the link in the description below to join the movement and rep fatherhood in a whole new way. Now back to the details.
I like that because it also, for your story, it transitioned into, at least for me, what I'm excited to hear from you guys. Because, you know, once you said yes to, you know, jumping on, number one, I look at, you know, so far what you have built for yourself, right? You have gone down so many different avenues to get to where you are now, you know, being that public speaker, being a mentor to a lot of folks in that space, and just building a brand, you know. And for me, I have always enjoyed, every time I hear the saying, behind every successful black man is a strong black woman. What did support from Sierra look like from your vantage point as you know, move through your career progression?
Unshakable belief. I think it's sometimes it's annoying. Sometimes it's annoying because she literally believes in me. So it's like whenever I'm and I get here at a variety of places, even now,
right. I'm
like, I don't want to do this no more. Like, this is stupid. I'm gonna be normal. She's like, no, you're not. I'm like, but I need to be. She's like, yeah, no, you're not. Like, you know, it's like, no, I am. I promise. I'm gonna be normal this time. She's like, no, you're not. You won't be happy, and you're not gonna be around me if you're not happy. So, and so I think that's what support looks like. Just going with it, because in the realm of business that I'm in, it's not this is a piece of real estate, this is a piece of equipment. Like, it's intangible.
Right.
Like, it ebbs and flows.
Yes. And
so just her always being at that point, she's always that person that's like, we could have our version of a knockdown, drag out, and at the end of it, she'll be like, all right, so you're gonna go out here, you're gonna get these speeches, and you're gonna be good, right? I'm like, yes. Yes. And so that's what support from her looks like, because I know most women would not rock with a man like that.
Yes.
Like, they wouldn't. And even the code red times when things were bad, she was still like, you got it? And I'm like, how do you? No, I don't. But we did. So that's what support looks like.
And so Sierra, from at least, you know, Odell's side of things, of recollecting again what support felt like for him, How was your thought process on being that wife, that supportive wife? Like, what was your driving factor to make sure you kept the battery in his back?
Like he said, I've always believed in him. Even from when he was 19, trying all these different business ideas, I knew, and I told him that I knew that one day he was going to be something great. So when he has those moments, I just feel like it's my time to be like, no, do you know who you are? Like, you're
Right.
Odell Bizzell. Like, you can do this, you're gonna do this, it's gonna get better. And it always does. We have those conversations, he gets to those moments, and within a couple weeks, things are better, things are different. So I think for me, it's the spooky side, like he says, or, you know, just that belief that he has something special inside of him that he's supposed to share with the world.
Mm-hmm.
And because he has that, if God places something like that in you, then he's going to give you everything that you need to be that person that you need to be, even at those low moments. So I have to be that person to remind him in those times that, remember, you are, dude. Like, you are that person. And so we have our pep talks where I'm like, do you know who you are? What are you talking about? Stop talking crazy. You're fine.
Right. That's a spooky deep. Now, when that supportive role switched with your now new career change and endeavor, what did support from Odell look like and sound like?
I think it was the same. So nursing school is hard. Like,
So I've heard.
It wasn't so much the content for me. It's the grueling everyday in and out tasks that you have to do, not being able to be with your family. I went from homeschooling, being with my kids all the time, to we started to transition in about 2021 when I went to school to be a lactation consultant. Then I started working as a lactation consultant, and then, you know, working in hospitals, sometimes working 12-hour shifts. So now the kids are like, what the heck was mom doing?
Right.
Our life is changing, and he really stepped up and, you know, came in those moments and was like, your mom's working, but I got you. So when I went to nursing school, it became even worse because now I'm working and I'm in school. And I think that first week, oh gosh, it was horrible. I came home and I was like, everybody's gonna have to pitch in, and you're gonna have to do more, and you're gonna have to do more. And he's like, whoa, wait a minute, calm down, chill out. First of all, don't come home acting crazy. But he's like, you know, I got you. So he really stepped in. He was getting the kids from school. I had put him on the list. Do not call me, call him. So if somebody got sick, they were calling him. If they needed something, he stepped up. He's washing clothes. He's like, well, I'm not cooking nothing, but I'll buy something. And then in those moments where I'm like, I made a B on my test, he's like, crying about a B, but okay. But
she finished with a 4.0, by the way.
Shameless plug.
Yes, but he was like, can't believe you're tripping over a B. You're fine. You're doing great, baby. So he came in and still had those conversations with me where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I might not graduate. He's like, one test. It's one test. But you'll be fine. He has been the voice of reason, where I've been super anxious about everything about school because that's how they make you. It's great. And I don't know if I would have made it.
So Odell, not when the roles were reversed and you got a taste of what Sierra had to, you know, just deal with and manage, you know, taking care of the household, you know, while you were out working. How was it for you to make that, you know, transition and then also give to her what she gave to you?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's ongoing. You
Yes.
know, it's still one of those situations because I had to rethink my business. You know, because if I was traveling like I was before, it wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah.
So I had to, rethink, do more coaching, do less traveling. So there's a transitionary period there. But I overwhelmingly, I think just thankful because had she not been in that role those years before, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And so thankful also because I could create some flexibility to do it.
Right.
Because if I wasn't able to be flexible, I don't know where, you know what I mean? So even though it's tough, and I think there's that realization too, whenever you switch roles with anybody, you're like, oh dang, no wonder she's so tired. Like, and for men sometimes you're like, why she so tired? Why she can't just roll over, I'm like, listen, now I'm like, you tired? I'm tired too. Let's just both go to sleep. So you tend to understand better.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where I am and where it is. And also I think in that first week she's talking about she was hot. Like she's cool. She doesn't, except for the kids. Like she yells at the kids obviously, but she don't come with that energy. Like she's not loud and she's not like that. She came on, she was like, I was like, hold on now. I said this verbatim, I said, I think you're gonna have to change your expectations. Like what you expect for this house ain't about to be clean all the time. It's not. It's not about to be this. And I think on the reverse side of that, in my mind, I'm like, well shoot, it's not about to be like that. Because even though I'm not like her, I like things a certain way. And kids don't care. Like they don't care. But also they're tired. They come home from school now. They're not at home all day.
Right.
So they don't get to recharge. They're dealing with their job. And so everybody's kind of tired and irritable and a little bit. So now I'm like, well, if it's not like this, then it's okay. So I think just being grateful for her role, being grateful that I was able to be flexible, and just being grateful that, we have each other. I think that's where we are now.
And I think that's powerful for anyone in the audience that's watching and probably have been or currently in a similar situation. Just hearing that it's not going to last forever as far as those rough times, those dark days, right? But the best way to get through it is to do it together, right? So as we switch gears a little bit into the segment of my favorites, right? The reason I like to even throw out those random things that would just put a smile on your face when you think back. So like you could start off with anything. So your favorite trip, favorite meal, favorite surprise. What tends to come to mind? Odell, you smiling, so you got something.
Hey, listen, I think this is just because we talk about it often.
Okay.
It's like, for those that follow sports, like 2012, LeBron finally won a championship, Olympic gold medal, like MVP, final, like got
Clean
everything.
Sweep. Yep, clean sweep.
2022, that was like 2022 for us was like that. We went on like how many vacations?
I don't know.
We went to Jamaica. Went to Jamaica. Flew first class to Jamaica. Stayed in was it Sandals? Yeah, stayed in Sandals. Luxury resort with a butler suite.
Ooh.
We went to Los Angeles to the BET Awards. Walked the red carpet.
Oh.
What else did we do that summer? We went
to the Biltmore.
Went to the Biltmore Estates here in North Carolina with the family, and I feel like we did something else. Went to Vegas. Like we did all of that in 2020. Man, I tell you what, I can't wait to see you again in 2022. It's gonna be a different version of you, but favorite year, favorite trips, all of that. What you got?
Well, obviously, it's 2022. Yeah, it would probably be that. Jamaica's my favorite place to be, period, hands down.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What about favorite date night?
The one that I remember, the best one I can remember is when I turned 21. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
When I turned 21, when we saw that horrible movie with Morris Chestnut in it, The Cave. And but yeah, it was a horrible movie. You've probably never seen it. I'm sure Morris Chestnut doesn't even have it in his
Wikipedia.
Yeah, he probably ain't even got it. It was so bad. But yeah, that because I went out with my best friend, his girlfriend at the time was still a really good friend, and I ordered my first drink. Didn't drink it because I don't drink. But I just wanted to order it. But it was just fun. Like I said, favorite is kind of hard because, during those 20s, we had a lot of stay dates.
Which is fine. I was hoping you threw that out there.
We had a whole bunch of those stay dates. But as far as going out, that's the one that comes to mind.
Okay. Let's see. What about maybe favorite surprise?
We had a surprise, personal chef come and make her favorite food, and she didn't know about it, so yeah.
Shout out to Rodney.
What about, let's see, your favorite memory of the come up?
Favorite memory of the come up?
Like, what was like the one thing that you guys did outside of the vacation, like just with each other, like what did you guys, maybe do or say, or, just to hype each other up? Like, we're able to do this. We did this.
We moved.
Yeah, we moved. So, quick story behind that. We bought first house in Greensboro.
Okay.
It was, 1,200 square foot house, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It was small, starter house.
Yeah.
And Sierra didn't want to stay there for the longest time. And I was like, we're gonna move. And I would tell my relatives, when I move, that's when you know that I got something.
Right.
And so then we moved, and not once, but twice. We moved twice in like 2 years, and so like moving out, like I took video, me and my brothers, like moving out. So that was it. Being able to move. That's
nice. So as we now transition to one of my favorite parts of every episode, the cover song that brings in the episode is "Little Things" by LMA. Right. So I think, and from a personal standpoint, I think sometimes we overlook how some small things that we would do with or for our partners get overlooked sometimes, right? And for the other party, they may not even think it's having that type of impact on you, but it is. And sometimes we just don't share it enough, right? So Sierra, what's one little thing that you could think of that Odell does that you truly appreciate him for?
Well, now that I work these 12-hour shifts, I get home and it's like 8 p.m. and I'm like, man, I gotta figure out what I'm gonna take for lunch. And I come home and he's already packed my lunch. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Because all I wanted to do was go maybe eat a snack or something and take a shower. And he already had it done. He's like, don't worry about your lunch, babe. I packed it for the next 2 days. And I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. So that's it for me.
Oh, you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Odell, your turn.
Oh, gosh, I'm so easy to please. Like I don't. The little things that she does for me that I can say on the show. I would say the littlest thing is, and this, I know you probably don't even think anything of this, is when she says to me, "Hey, you wanna watch our show when I get done?" Like that. For me, I'm like, yes. Like, cause it's just a moment of peace.
Quality time.
And like, we got a couple shows that are coming back. And so when she's like, "You wanna watch our show?" I'm like, yeah. Like that's a little thing that I really, really enjoy.
Love that. Sierra, back to you.
Let's see. When, again, it's 12-hour shifts. Sometimes I'll come home and I'm like, oh my gosh, my feet are killing me, my back is killing me. And he had booked me a massage and I was like, oh my God, I really needed that.
Right.
That was one of those things.
Thinking ahead. Smart man. Love try. Back to you, sir.
Man, when I don't have to think about stuff. So like if it's I'm making this or I'm getting this, like it's usually food.
Right.
Where I don't have to worry about it or think about like that. That's a little thing that
I think some people overlook that too, man. It's easiest way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
It's through his stomach, like bypass his brain. I don't want to think about it. I just don't want to I'm here. Thanks.
Now, when you're thinking of those small little details of when he does this, when she does this, like I'm at peace. How often do you, I guess, even look to find within yourself, like, what else can I do for X?
Yeah, I think about it. One of my biggest strengths, I think, and I don't know, but is I'm always trying to figure out how to make her life easier. So I think about that. So like when it's the lunch, it's not a lot, especially if the food is already there, but it's just one less thing. So I think about that. Try to get my kids on board.
Work in progress.
Yeah, work in progress, but if I can get them in the bed or something, like just do little stuff. I always try to think like that because my goal, and I think we learned this in premarital counseling way back, is like, let me just do what I need to do to make sure you want to stay with me. Like, what is it that I can do to make sure you want to stay? And as long as that person has the same mindset, then we're gonna be all right.
I hope y'all taking notes. That was a gem right there. Sierra, what about you?
I think for me, just knowing him for this long and the things that are important to him, like he said, food has always been his thing. Like when we first got married and he first started working, he would call and be like, hey babe, what's for dinner? And I would think that was the dumbest question. I'm like, why are you calling me to ask me what's for dinner? Like you're not gonna have dinner. But that was important for him to know that there was gonna be food when he got home. There always was, but he just needed to know. So now I know that about him because we've been together for almost 21 years. Mommy issues, by the way, again. Love you, Mom. So I just try to think about what is going to be important to him, or if he's going on the road and I know he's had a hard week, I'll try to write him like a little note and stick it in his suitcase so he'll find it and be like, yeah, you know, just try to think about what's gonna make him happy, because like he said, I know that if I'm not doing those things and he starts to feel underappreciated, that he might go looking for that somewhere else, or he might start internalizing it and feeling like, oh, she don't love me, or you know, whatever. So I want him to know that I care. So I try to think about ways to let him know that I care.
Another gem. And I appreciate you guys for sharing that and, you know, just being transparent, because I think, again, those gestures can create what I would say is like a relationship splinter, right? If you don't get those things out, then it's going to fester and just become problematic, and something so small can become something major, right? So the fact that both of you are already kind of just individually in that headspace, I think it just creates for a better dynamic, you know, just within your household. So thank you for sharing that. So as we wrap up here, you know, a few things that I just wanted to highlight with you guys' story. Number one, just the appreciation for the friendship that you guys have for one another, I think, you know, cannot be ignored, right? Especially when you're thinking about, you know, getting so serious, getting so involved at a very young age, right? Because I think folks from the generations before us that raised us, they would always say, you're too young, you're too young, you're too young. But sometimes when you know, right? And, you know, I think there are times where we probably ignore those signs, right? And we don't take them as seriously as we should, right? And it just puts us sometimes in a predicament where we're going down a rabbit hole of relationship after relationship when you know damn well you probably done passed up on the one that you should have stayed with, right? So the fact that, you know, you both was very intentional on just making sure that you were, you know, there for one another as friends. And then once it blossomed into an actual relationship, the support, you know, that's something that you guys both just explained over and over again. And I think a lot of couples probably just need to hear that, whether you're in the dating process or you're already married. Support is a 24-hour thing, right? And it is going to probably dig each other out of different type of situations, whether it's emotionally, mentally, even socially as well. You know, when you're dealing with work and you're dealing with other people, you're dealing with being an entrepreneur, you know, that support is going to be something that you get to lean on, and you really don't know that you need it until you have it, right? So for both of you to even, you know, kind of play tennis with those roles, and you're switching hats from time to time, I think is pretty cool. Then when you have those challenging times, because you guys talked about, you know, the code red days, you know, the challenges with, you know, becoming parents, right? In the middle of code red, right? Being there for each other, having that open line of communication, verbal communication. I always stress that because I think some people miss out on understanding the difference between communicating and conversing, right? Because those conversations can bring out so much more than a text message and an email can, right? And I think it allows you to just strengthen your marriage when you get to hear where your partner is coming from, hear what's important to them, how you can help them fix and change their own thought process, right? Because I think sometimes life has a way of making us doubters, right? Yes. And we may not even realize it, because both of you, actually, Sierra, you said it, like there were times when Odell wanted to give up and you was not having that, right? But that's because there's so many times you keep hitting those brick walls, and as a male, you always think that no matter how thick that concrete is, I'm gonna still be able to do it by myself. And then there are times where reality shows us you need help, right? And even if it's just one person, that one person, especially if it's your spouse, you're gonna feel like you're gonna be able to conquer anything, right? So for both of you to just tap into those attributes, I think from time to time has definitely been a foundational piece to the success that you're now having as a married couple, right? And what I can envision is those things just becoming stronger, right? Especially laying the groundwork for your children to now see what things look like from code red to green flags and first class. You know, so I think, you know, the examples that you guys are being for your kids are it's going to speak volumes, you know, probably 15, 20 years from now when it's their turn to, you know, be spouses and, you know, be parents. So, you know, definitely I should, at least from my vantage point, I think you guys should be proud of, you know, what you've created and, you know, where you've come from to where you're going. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a wrap, lovebirds. I appreciate you guys rocking with us for another episode of Love in the Details. So if you made it this far, again, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we'll be having you on next to tell your story on Love in the Details. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in, lovebirds. Remember, love shines brightest in the little things. We'll see you next time on Love in the Details.